picture of Grandma picture. Okay. Do what you have to do. What you'll do. Mary.
Susie, Mike, and Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And
Susie was the baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's in our kitchen sink.
Wow.
In our old house.
Where at? What?
On 3rd Street.
In Mandan?
I don't think you were ever, you weren't born.
Okay.
And we lived there when we got Susie. So she's about 6 months old here. Yeah. And these are, what are these? It's just Ethan and Tanya's children, the twins. Oh, I love that. That's our wedding day with Eddie's parents and mom. It's probably the only picture I have of his parents. I'm Lorraine Bossert. I was Lorraine Ternes, and I'm Leo's sister, Danny's dad. So the way I start is I take out a loaf of frozen dough, put it out at 7 in the morning, and I put it in the oven to raise. And it's now about 11:30. The dough is now ready, and I've prepared the butter and the water in a large frying pan, and I'm going to cut in the Dumpth Noodle is what we're making today. And I put in a layer of potatoes first, and then we'll add the dough, and I'll cut it off in little chunks, and then we'll continue after a bit. First we're going to do this. We have to turn on the heat. They love lots of potatoes in this dish, so I have peeled the potatoes earlier, and I leave the rinds on because we like it that way. I'm going to take a picture of the dough. It's raised very nicely. So what I do now is I cut little chunks off, and I drop it into it should be boiling. It isn't boiling yet, so I better wait a little bit. I want this water to be boiling. I'm going to add a little salt too. Not too much.
Perfect. Yeah, we can wait.
Okay.
You can definitely take a pause whenever you want.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even have it on high.
You're a natural. You know that? You are.
Oh,
You're like a natural teacher.
I was a teacher.
There you go.
I also prepared some sauerkraut. Some people like the sauerkraut mixed in with the noodles. Leo doesn't, so I do it separately.
Nice of you.
Till this comes to a boil.
And over here we have coffee brewing, and these are, you want to explain what these are to people?
This is going to be breadcrumbs. I did it's dried bread, and I make little chunks of it, little pieces, and I'm going to be browning it in some butter in another pan. And when that's browned, then I put it over the noodles when they're finished. And just mix it all up. So I put the whole loaf into my pan. And I've got a pretty nice big sized pan too, that's important. It's a non-stick pan. And I'm not fussy about the size of these chunks, because when they're cooked, it doesn't matter what size they are.
Are there other names for these, Aunt Lorraine? For this dish?
Dumpth Noodle?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Our parents made them a little different because they used their own dough, you know.
Sure.
But now we're doing shortcuts. use the frozen dough, which works just fine. I think they taste the same. I don't know, am I filling all the spots here? I can't see that good.
Yeah, you can put one there.
Here?
Sure.
Got one left.
And over here by the butter.
Okay,
Awesome.
there we go. Then we cover it with a lid. I have a glass lid. I used to sell Stanley products, and this pan comes from Stanley Home Products, and it's excellent.
How long does it usually cook then?
Okay, now it's about 11:30, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll cook them 30 minutes, and then we have to kind of guess if they're frying or not. So then maybe 5 more minutes, and that's it. And while they're cooking, and we don't want to take the lid off, we just let them cook without checking them. Oh, I forgot to put the potatoes on top. Sorry.
No problem. See, there we can edit and put them in.
Yeah, we're gonna, whether it's right or wrong.
How many potatoes did you cut up?
I used 3, and they were very big potatoes. So, I had this full of potatoes, but other people may not want that many potatoes, but we do. So now I'm going to start the breadcrumbs. Maybe I'll wait a little bit. It's a little too soon for that. The coffee's done.
Sure.
So now we can sit down.
Can you tell me what year you were born, if you mind?
32.
32, okay. Dad was what, 39?
10, 28, 32. I tell everybody. Everybody asks, when you go to a doctor
Mm-hmm.
or to a clinic, that's the first thing they do is ask you when you were born. So,
Oldest of the 10, right?
yep. That's how I always got introduced with Mom. She always said, "This is Lorraine, she's the oldest." I never got by with that. There.
When you grew up, like, were very popular early days. Besides polkas, waltzes, or you can talk about
I
that.
wasn't big on that at all.
No? Okay.
No. I don't know what to tell you. Sacred, I always liked sacred music. But we did a lot of singing, like the current things that were currently popular songs, And in grade school, we had the greatest teacher in my 7th and 8th grade.
Hello.
And she taught us all the patriotic songs, "Anchors Away" and those kind, with Rose Schwab, Leo,
Yeah.
And I wish I had a copy of. We had copies of all the different.
Familiar with like Elvis Presley? He was in the 50s, I think.
I don't know. That wasn't a big thing when I went to high school.
Yeah, it was for me.
No.
I like Elvis Presley because I was in that age, high school age.
I suppose my era was Bing Crosby,
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra. Yeah.
All those good ones.
Sure.
They were the best.
That's true. That's who we.
And Ma liked them too because she
Mhm.
was Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra. The Bells of St. Mary's was a movie.
Oh yes.
And Bing Crosby was a priest.
And those were great.
You can't beat that.
Great movies. Yeah.
She liked Bing Crosby and he was a priest.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Hmm.
And he worked with the nuns.
And he was Catholic.
Was he Catholic?
Bing Crosby?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm not even sure.
I'm not sure either.
I think so.
See, in those days, if you weren't Catholic, you didn't make it too
I
high.
think he was.
I think he was. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sure. But you never did anything bad, so.
You don't know about him.
Yeah, Leo.
Yeah, see, we're all sinners.
Absolutely.
Except Aunt Barbara.
Yes.
Aunt Barbara.
Oh, she wasn't? Did she say that?
Yes, she always said she has no sin. She doesn't have to go to confession. So when she
Oh.
died,
Oh.
Albert and I were in the front pew,
Mm.
and the priest prayed for her forgiveness.
Mm.
And I looked at Albert and I said, she doesn't have any sins. And we both started laughing
Yeah.
because we were forbidden.
It's all wood. It's made out of one piece of wood.
They didn't have.
And you know how I got it? Dorothy and I used to go rummaging, looking for old stuff. And she knew this lady north of Mandan. Her name was Nagel, but I can't remember her first name. And she lived on a farm, real run-down little place. And so we went there, and I traded this bowl for a bottle of cologne that I was selling at Stanley sale, you know. And oh, I wouldn't sell it for $100. Well, maybe a machine made
No,
it.
they didn't have machines.
How do you think it was made?
Well, with a machine.
Oh.
A router.
Mm.
But it's a nice boat made out of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Margaret's got a bowl.
I know about it. I
Did you
haven't
see
seen
it?
it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, is that beautiful wood?
Yeah, I know.
She got it from where?
Where do you think this kind of wood this is? I would think.
Eddie,
Oh yeah.
On the
That was
tree.
That was taken in Portland.
really? It's a great picture.
You know, Barbara just died. John's wife.
Yeah, I
She
heard
died.
Margaret
She
say
died
that.
this week.
Incidentally, I just talked to Richard
Oh yeah.
on the phone before I came, and he said he smelled the noodles from
Oh, Mark. Yeah,
Texas.
he said he wanted to talk to Margaret about it.
Yeah, holler if you need
Okay,
help.
I'm using a kind of a heavy skillet, and I'm using about a stick of butter. Then we'll put in about, depends on your crowd. I suppose I have about three slices of bread. And I always use dark because that's all I eat, but other people like white bread. So when the butter's melted, we'll put that in and let it brown. And when then we don't let it brown too much, don't let it burn. And when it's done, you take it off the fire, off the heat. And when the noodles are done, you just dump them over the noodles and stir them up and done. You know, Annie, the older you get, the less you care.
Yeah.
I had too much butter in here, so I scooped out three tablespoons.
I got cherry jam from and the gallon is kind of split here, so
You know, Danny, there's no way to tell people how to do things exactly, because this is from hundreds of years ago, everything done by scratch. There was no recipe, and you have to do it 100 times till you get it right.
Do you know what Darlene said? So Dan, just to finish that story, I put it in the microwave.
You had to kind of watch when you're done. You're not done yet, huh?
Well, it's brown bread, it's so hard to see.
I know it's hard for you.
But it's really cooking. I would say it's done.
You do?
It's done as can be.
Okay.
It's the bread is hard, which is a sign of being done.
It does. It cooks some more when you take it off.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Okay, I'll let you tell
This
the story.
one is from Marilyn Halbert. Jerry was in Paris, when he bought that for her and sent it home. And she sold it at her garage sale. I paid $5 for it, and it's priceless. Anyway, it's by what's its name?
Otrillo?
Utrillo.
Utrillo.
Utrillo is the artist, huh?
Utrillo bought it for Jerry?
No, Jerry bought it in Paris.
Oh.
Utrillo was dead by then.
Okay.
Okay, and then these paintings are all by Utrillo also. The largest one I bought at a garage sale in Milwaukee. And the other 4, or is it 4? Yeah, it's 4. Linda found for me in Montana at a garage sale and gave them to me.
Now Linda's kind of.
That will stay white. They can't get brown on top.
It's sizzling like crazy. It's good. What's on the bottom? Water?
There was water that's supposed to all be cooked in, and that starts browning.
No, it's not.
And lots of butter.
Not good. Oh, the butter is good. Butter won't cook out. Right?
No, butter will be there.
It looks delicious, but I don't know if it is.
I used to stick of butter. I think I put that on video.
And then the breading will get warm again from the noodles?
Oh, yeah. Both of them, And one got aborted, and she survived.
Hi.
So now she is working for the Right to Life, Amazing stories. Just amazing.
Does she talk about the one that got aborted?
Well, it was mentioned. She doesn't know anything about it,
Yeah, but she could still be hurt by it.
Oh, I'm sure. Well,
Because she
I'm
doesn't
sure
have her
it's
twin.
a loss for the rest of your life,
Of course.
What kind of jelly do we have here?
Choke cherry, homemade, from scratch.
The viewers wanted to know.
I just think it's
Next
so
year,
interesting.
where did we leave off? We cooked it 35 minutes. And once it started cooking, I turned the heat down to about medium. And so now it's about 35 minutes. I'm going to open it up. What I didn't tell you earlier, you have to know how much water to put in your pan. And I used a full glass of, how many ounces is this? 14, 12?
14, yeah.
12, I
12.
think. And then I did a full glass full, plus about a 4th.
Does it have to be a Hague glass?
No. These were
It's a nice
grandmas.
touch.
They come from Grandma Rose.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
It says Hague on it, Dad.
Does it say egg?
It says the Hague, yeah.
Well, not this Hague.
Right.
It's
Oh,
a
not
Hague.
this.
But I recognize the
It's
Hague.
a Hague in
We
Europe.
were in the new restaurant. Did you hear about that?
I think
In
you
Hague?
told.
Tell us.
That was amazing.
I think you told me. You two went.
Yeah.
Hey, next time you go, I'm gonna go on.
Yeah, you won't make it.
Oh, Dad. Yeah, she.
I won't what?
I'll come pick you up. He's negative, Nelly.
Oh,
Making fun of you.
I'm kidding. I don't care about
Oh,
it.
you should go.
I'm just.
We could do a day trip.
I gotta see if they're cooked, if they're brown. Are they brown?
Yep.
Enough?
Yeah, very brown.
I think they're perfect.
But perfect.
They are
Oh,
perfect.
They are perfect.
Absolutely.
They look like through the glass.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't have hurt to cook them a little longer.
What happens when you take the cover off?
Those look perfect.
Do they fall apart?
Man, if you guys could smell how good this smells.
I really don't know the answer to that, Leo.
Germans from
What was your
Russia.
question?
Why wouldn't you take the cover off and look?
Old wives' tale. Like this was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So you want to talk to us what you're doing?
I'm adding all the breadcrumbs now that were made with the butter
Forget
earlier.
the butter.
And we'll just mix them all up with the.
Mm-hmm.
Is there butter in the pan, Danny?
Yeah, there is. She made him with those stick of butter.
Okay.
Ask me that question
He didn't
again.
go to school anymore. I don't think.
Say that again.
Did you have Albert? I did.
No, he was out of school.
Well, I was the champion.
What now? Say that again. Did you know what?
Albert, her brother.
No, start over from first thought.
She was my teacher.
Did I know that? No, I didn't.
Okay. And then I was her janitor. I went to school there.
At the schoolhouse?
While he went to school, we had a cold stove
Cold
to
stove.
heat the room.
No furnace. No water.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we had to start fire in the morning and heat the room, and
The
you
kids wouldn't have a bathroom. They
you
wouldn't know
couldn't
what to
you
do.
couldn't take your boots off or your gloves off until 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's always cold in there.
Yeah. So you
Especially-
start that for
You know, when I think of it, I don't know how in the world we ever got that room warm. Do you know?
No, because
the
you could
winter?
see out.
And the windows?
You could see.
So thin?
15
So
windows?
there's one place there was a piece of metal that I always looked out.
Yeah. It was like a barn. I don't know how in the
If
world.
it stormed outside, the windows were so shitty
I don't know how it was. How
that the
children-
snow blew in through
Yeah.
the windows,
Yeah.
right by our desk.
Schoolhouse?
Oh, Magnus Wagner, he played with the snow.
God.
Was
I
that
don't
the
know
schoolhouse?
How the kids learned.
Well, the furnace was so hot by noon that it melted all the snow and everything.
Oh,
Where was it located?
Right across the road from our farm.
And you taught there? And
yeah.
how many years would you say you taught?
I was there 2 years.
2 years. Nice. Nice. Did you learn anything?
I learned a lot from that school. I graduated 8th grade from
Yeah.
there.
Really?
And I
Rose-
learned a lot.
The one that she talked
Rose
about
Schwab
first,
was
Rose
our-
Schwab
my
was
7th
my
and 8th.
first teacher.
She was my 7th and 8th grade teacher, and she was a good teacher. She ended up going to becoming a nun, and she's
She
still
was.
alive. She's in Mankato,
Really?
and I write
She's
to her
like-
every Christmas, and she writes to me.
She's like
Wow.
95 or something.
She's 93.
God, she was a good lady.
Yeah, and she taught. She was not only was she good book learning teaching,
She was good on
but
those.
she was good. She taught us sports. She taught us how to play basketball on the dirt ground outside, and in the winter we played jacks inside
She made-
on her desk.
She made do, but
And she had a pretty new desk, I think, and there were chunks out of the desk by the time the winter was over. She didn't care. We learned to play jacks. And I mentioned that in my Christmas card to her.
the way we were raised.
And she wrote back and she said, I hope you learned more than just jacks and from me, she says. And we did.
My dad liked her a lot.
Yeah, she loved our parents, our parents. Mhm.
And one time I came home, I was punished in school. Rose was the teacher. Victor Brown would always get me in trouble. And we had to stay in for recess. And he sent me upstairs to pray, Our Father, because he was mad because I was offending the teacher.
Mm.
And I really didn't do it.
He wasn't mad, he just had to discipline you.
He had to discipline me.
Yeah.
But I'll never ever forget it because it hurt so bad. Because he was my buddy.
And I think the kids nowadays have no conception of how primitive that was. We hardly had any books. We had Little Women was the
There was
only
no
storybook.
money.
And I read it 5 times that winter because it was the only storybook there was, and I loved the story. And we had a civics book. It was about this big,
Yeah.
black, this thick, ancient, old.
The library was as big as your fridge.
Yeah, and hardly anything in it.
Serious.
Anyway,
All the books were in there.
and she was a tough teacher. We had to go through that
Strict.
civics book.
Strict.
By Christmas time, we were done with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I was 7th or 8th grade.
She was not
And
a
then
Wendy Berger.
we were also happy we were done with it because it was such a boring subject.
Okay, yeah, read it
Anyway, she said, now we're going to do it all over again. We had to start from the beginning. But that's why I love politics to this day, and geography and history. She's responsible.
Say her name again.
Rose Schwab, Sister Rose Schwab.
Excellent. Thanks. I would like to give a big thank you to my Aunt Lorraine Bossert and my dad Leo Ternes for being a part of this video. May you all be well. Thank you all for watching.